All right, so today I thought I would describe the history of this Dell computer in the slot here. So a lot of people, since the channel's been getting more and more popular, have been asking about some of these machines here, and some of the jokes have been, I don't actually fix anything in these videos. What I do is I break them on purpose. I know exactly what I broke, and then I just fix it, and I bought all this crap on eBay to make it look like I have a laptop service center. Yeah, because that's exactly what I want to do. I want to pretend that I fix Dell XPS M1530s from probably this probably came out before I could legally drink. And this machine belongs to my uncle, and I want to explain why it is it's been sitting in the slot for this long. But before I go over that, I just want to go over some of the text messages that I've received from my uncle lately, just so you guys can get a bit of an idea of where I'm coming from when I say these things. A few text messages here, and it looks here like I have over 300 of them. Let's just scroll to some good ones. Computers, we need a computer. Desktop with a big screen to see better. If we get one, we need help putting it up. If I get one from you today, do you want to come over tomorrow and set it up? We need help putting it up and setting it up. My response, because I know this is one of those things where he's going to want it for like half the price that it is in the window, if even, and that I'm going to spend hours there teaching him how to plug it in and all of that on my spare time. You have to understand, this text message was sent on a weekend. On the weekend, I work from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. So at the end of my day, on a weekend, as somebody in my 20s, I might not want to spend 3 to 5 hours setting up somebody else's computer, when that's what I did for my entire day. So just to go over this over here, and also let's just make sure this is on. Here we go. My response, honestly, after 10 to 12 hours of computer stuff, that's the last thing I want to do on my spare time. When I leave the store, I stop caring about other people's computers. And I know what you're thinking. You're an asshole. You're a douchebag. How do you not care about your family? If you had a problem, wouldn't you want people in your family to help you? Well, here's the thing I notice with family and friends. Here's the thing that I notice very, very often with the people who are often saying that they're your family, saying that they're your friend. You know what happens with a lot of those people? What they do is they use the F word, and I think that the F word is a very offensive word. When people say that I curse too much, or that I say fuck when I drop something, or fuck when I trip, or fuck when the SMC gets burned, or fuck when the little 96.25 millimeter ball I'm putting there combines with another ball and I have to redo the whole thing, I don't think that's offensive. I think that's a standard thing to do when something pisses you off. What I find to be offensive, what I find to be to be degrading is when somebody uses the F word, which is friend or family, to try and guilt me into doing something for free, to guilt me into giving up my time, to guilt me into caring about them when they have never cared about me. And the thing that I find so often is true when people start using the F word, the real offensive F word, which is friend or family, is that it's always this type of shit. It's always like, can you help me with this? Can you take 5 hours out of your day to do this for me when I've never done shit for you? That computer over there is one of many that he's brought me that I have done nothing to because I understand exactly how it is. I'm going to make it work. I'm going to put 5 hours of time into it. You're going to buy me a beer. And you think we're even. But we're not even. No, we are not. That computer needs 2 BGA chipset replacements that are going to cost me $30 to $60. Then it requires 2 to 3 hours of time with that machine. And you just think that that's just like just snapping my fingers and making it happen. And here's the thing I want to get to when it comes to family and friends in the real world. Again, you have so many people that are going to say they're your family. You got so many people that are going to say that they're your friend. You got so many people that are going to come to you when they need you. You notice how that is? How many people come? How many more friends do you have when people in the world need you versus when you need them? How many more people are going to call you their friend when there's something that you can do for them? How many more people are going to say, hey, buddy, hey, pal, hey, friend, we're friends, right? When they need to pay first, last, and deposit on their new apartment, and they only have first and last, but no money for the deposit. It's funny how people start to get a lot more friendly. And the same is true when it comes to family. Like, yeah, that belongs to my uncle. He's not a mean-spirited person. He's not somebody that I think actively goes out of his way to be a bad guy in any way. But again, can you stop what you're doing and come to my house for 5 hours, which is 30 miles away from my apartment and I don't own a car, to help me set up a computer that you're going to give me for close to free? Just, yeah, nephew. Or another one here. Need help building a website. You available? Call me. I'm at work, can't call yet. 5 minutes later, I get another message. Call me. No. And again, like, you may think, Lewis, you should be there when your family needs you. You should be there when your friends need you. Again, like, my mother had a nervous breakdown when I was 6 years old, and she was mentally ill from that day until the rest of her life. I remember seeing my uncle all the time between the ages of 1 and 5.5. When my mother became mentally ill, where were you? When my dad quit his job in his new career to stay home and take care of his family, because that's the type of person my dad was, my dad valued the people in his life that mattered to him. My dad valued his family over his career. When he decided to quit his job to stay home and take care of his son and ill wife, where were you, uncle? When I decided I'm going to start my own business and I'm going to do that with the last $200 in my bank account, where were you? Again, when we talk about friends and we talk about family, I don't like to focus on the title. I don't focus on the bloodline. I don't focus on what other people call me. What I focus on is the actual relationship. What I focus on is where they put their time, where they put their efforts, their real relation to me, as opposed to what they think their relation is to me. And again, where were you? So, like, you were nowhere to be found. When my mother became ill, I don't remember seeing you. I don't remember you calling. I don't remember you coming over anymore. Yet somehow when you need a computer fixed or a website built or some shit set up or fixed, my number's the first one you call. And fuck off. And really, that's just the way I see it with friends and family. You know, when people use those words, that's what I find offensive. That's what I find to be the offensive F word, is when you have these lines and these droves of people that show up to ask for things and say that they're friends and say that they're family, and they pretend that we've had this long-standing relationship our entire lives, when we both know in reality that you wouldn't piss on me if I was on fire. That you would never lift a finger to help me over the course of your natural life if there wasn't a reason for you to come here with your hand out. Do you want to know what real friends do? Do you want to know what real family do? Let me tell you a little bit of a story about the people that I know that I consider real friends, that I consider real family. I remember a few years ago, back before we had, paperless payroll, I remember I got some mail about a bank account that had been frozen for a number of reasons I'm not going to get into in this video, and another bank account that had been levied. And long story there. And there was one employee that was tasked with opening all this mail and dealing with all the paperwork and the crap and the account stuff like that. And she opens it and she sees that. And on Friday, her and the other employees come to my office. They give me their paychecks and they say, Lewis, we are not going to deposit these until we know what's up. We're not going to deposit these until everything is fine with you and your business. They refuse to get paid. They have cars, they have mortgages, they have apartments, they have children. And they said, we are not going to receive money. We're not going to get paid. We're not going to cash your paychecks until we know that everything's okay with you. That's family. When I've been having a bad day and I had 2 months where nothing was going my way, I just got out of a crappy, shitty relationship. I'm sitting here trying to figure out a board issue that's just been driving me nuts for a month, and I'm just like devoid of sleep. And my friend can hear it in my voice when he's at work on $1 million project about 15 miles away, and he hears that. And he shows up, he leaves work, shows up here, fixes 2 boards in a row that were in front of me, forces off my soldering station, drives me to a restaurant 10 miles away so that I could meet some of his friends and have fun and talk. That's a friend. That's family. People who claim they're your family because they share your bloodline are not family. People who claim that they are your friends just because they're nice to you and they pat you on the back and they share something with you, that doesn't mean that we're friends. Everybody understands what it's like to make a friend. Everybody knows what it is to make a friend. When you talk to somebody and you share something, and there's this little tingling feeling in your spine and in like the muscles in the front of your face, and it's not something that you can define, but it's at that moment that you usually know you made a friend. And the worst people on earth, to me, the worst people you will ever meet, the subhuman scum, are the people who try to recreate that when they don't actually want a friendship. The people who recreate that because they want to be cool with you, because they know that the next time that they see you, they're going to be coming to see you with their hands out and they're going to want something. Those people are the worst people on earth. And I don't find the word fuck offensive. I don't find the word dick offensive. I don't find the word cunt offensive. But when it comes to the worst F word in the human language, friend, family, when used improperly, those are the most offensive words that there are. And, I still remember about a year ago, about 3 years ago, I was going to this restaurant every single day. I liked it. And I got along with the people there. I got along with the guests. I got along with the chefs. I got along with the owner. I got along with the manager. Every day I'd go there at the end of the day, and it was a good, joyful way to spend my time. They were just about to close up. He had dealt with a bunch of douchebag customers all day. I had dealt with a bunch of douchebag customers all day. We were both on the same page, and we both could get along and have some fun. So we'd talk, and we'd get along, and we'd laugh, and I'd get my food, and I'd pay for my food, and I'd leave at the end of the day, and I'd say goodbye. Then, one day, about a year ago, after I'd been going to that restaurant for about 2 years, they open a new location, and they want to see if I can help install some cameras for them because they know that that's what I do. And I show up, and they know that the last time that they had something done, that they paid about $1,200. And that was for a shitty system. That was for one of those systems where, where again, you can't tell me apart from my cat. It's one of those, garbage Minecraft-looking pieces of shit. And they paid about $1,200 for it. So I tell them, listen, the stuff that I put in is not that level of quality. It's not necessarily going to be cheap. And they go, oh, just show up. Just trust me. Just show up. So I show up at 3 o'clock. I cancel everything I have to do that day just for the hell of it, just to be nice, something I should have never done. And I show up, and I go down, and he shows me around everywhere. And I said, listen, before we get to you showing me every single spot that you want this stuff set up, what are you looking to spend? Because rather than me tell you, here's what you need to get, I'd like to know what you're looking to spend. If I know what you're looking to spend, I can put together something with the best compromises for your budget. And they said, we're looking to spend about $200 to $300. To be 100% honest with you, we're actually hoping we could pay you with a couple of meals. A couple of meals. And this is the thing I want you to note when it comes to the food service business. There's nothing kills me more than when people are like, okay, but I'll give you a free wrap, or I'll give you a discounted wrap, and then they come into a place like this and they want a $300 service for free. It's like, yeah, but that sandwich is $6. Like, you can give me a discount on it that's still like $3, and you want me to give you a $300 service, including a $200 part for free. Like, it's not the same. Fuck off with that. But I showed up. I took time out of my day for this, and I show up. And he says, we're looking to spend $200 to $300. To be honest, I was kind of hoping I could just give you free lunch for a week. And this is not one of those restaurants. This ain't the Four Seasons. This ain't the Plaza Hotel. This is a restaurant where we're looking at a meal cost here of about $5 to $10 for the food. And you want to pay me in meals for a week. And I looked at him and I'm like, seriously? I didn't know whether to be insulting. I didn't know whether to be insulted. I didn't know whether I should just smile and leave. I didn't know how to react. I just said, seriously? Because we've known each other for the 3 years. Like, yeah, like $200 or $300. Keep in mind that for the amount of shit that he was asking me to do, just the sheer amount of cameras that he actually wanted in this facility. He was asking like 360-degree cameras, all this crazy shit everywhere. I mean, like $700, even for crap, $700 would have not covered the parts, much less labor. And he's like, yeah, man, I thought we were friends. And it was at that moment that I decided that I'm never going to this restaurant again. And I remember looking at him and just cutting him down to the point where he felt so small and shitty that he just, he couldn't even look me in the eye anymore. It's like, friends? So you want me to do this for half the cost of parts because we're friends? And he looked at me, and he was still looking at me like, this guy's an asshole, but yeah, I still hold my opinion. I can't support my opinion because I know my opinion is bullshit, but I'm staring at him because I still support my opinion. We're friends. In the 3 years that I've been coming here, every single day to your restaurant, have I ever asked you for a free meal? Have I ever asked you for a discount on a meal? Have I ever asked you to stay open late for me so that I could come during hours that you are not usually open? Have I ever inconvenienced you in any way? Have I ever taken a water and implied that it should be free because you're paying 33 cents for it and charging $2.50? Nothing to say. Friends, do you invite me over on Christmas? Do I visit your kids on Thanksgiving? Do I know your kids' names? Do you even know where I work? Do you know my last name? When was the last time that we saw each other outside of this establishment? When July 4th comes for Independence Day, do we go to a water park together? Do we go smoke cigars outside and light up something on the barbecue and go in the pool? No. We're not friends by any stretch of the definition. Yet for some reason you want something for free. Why? Explain to me why I should entertain any of what you're asking. Friends. Get the fuck out of here. Really? And he had just nothing to say, like absolutely nothing to say. I mean, in 3 years, I've never asked for a discount. And for some reason, they feel like I am going to install like some 16 360-degree camera system. 16 cameras. Oh, installed. Wiring from basement to this floor to there, all in the wall for $200 to $300. I just lost my shit, and because we're friends, it's such horse shit. And you know my receptionist will get calls from people every now and then that say, "Oh, Louis, your friend is calling. He had a question for you. Your friend wanted to know if he could buy a part from you. Your friend wanted to know if you could help him with this board issue." And I took her into my office and I said, "Viniera, have a seat." And he goes, "Yes." And I go, "Viniera, can you take a guess as to how it is you know that 100% of the people who call saying my friend, and I mean 100% of them that call this phone over here, are lying pieces of shit?" And she goes, "I'm not sure." And I go, "The lying pieces of shit who say they're my friend call the business phone. The people who are actually my friend call this phone." You understand? See, this number is the one given out to my real friends and family. Of course, obviously, with the mistaken exception of my uncle. But if you're calling this phone, you're not my friend. You're not my family. Really, like that's the way it is. I remember dating this woman, I didn't, for lack of a better way to say it, I didn't realize that the person I was dating was dumb as a doorknob until after I had slept with them. It happens. So I remember one night, we're about to go out to dinner. I'm sitting here in this chair, I'm waiting, and I get a phone call about 45 minutes after the time that I was expecting to hear from her, and she goes, "Louis, I think I'm lost. I'm in a bad neighborhood." She lives in Manhattan, right? And I go, "Okay, where are you?" She goes, "I don't know, I'm lost." And I go, "Okay, read a street sign for me." She goes, 14th Street. And I go, "Okay, I said, "You know how there's one street sign that's facing this way?" I said, "How about you read the one that's now facing this way?" And she goes, "First Avenue." And I go, "Okay." This was kind of silly because she was 2 blocks away from the store, which she's been to several times. She had my business card in her pocket. She has a phone with service in Google Maps. It's 2015. I'm just stultified here as to what the hell is going on. So I decide I'm going to leave and I'm going to go find her. So I go outside and I walk 2 blocks and I see her and she's like, "Oh, hi." And here I'm just like, "Oh, so you were lost?" She's like, "Yeah, I don't think I've been here before." And I go, "So you don't remember getting off this same train before? The last 5 times you've come to see me." And anyway, I wasn't laughing that hard. And I go, "So, bad neighborhood. Well, what was wrong with the neighborhood?" And she points and she goes, "Look." And she points to about a group of 4 or 5 black people. And here's the thing: if you're one of those valley girls, or if you're somebody who's never really seen the world or been to New York, or somebody who's seen people who don't look like you before, I'm not going to say that it's right. I'm not going to say that it's right that you think it's a bad neighborhood because you see a group of black people on the corner. I'm not going to say it's right, but I can kind of understand it. I'm not going to say it's right, but I can understand it occurring. What I don't understand, again, they're standing on the corner in front of Stuytown, which are apartments that start at $3,200 a month. Starting cost $3,200 a month. What I really don't get is while you see those people out there, you're looking at them and you're deeply, seriously implying that the fact that they're black means that this is a bad neighborhood. When you're black! The girl was black. I mean, anyway, it didn't take a long time to figure out that this was somebody I needed to like get rid of before I caused further damage to myself. And yeah, I remember her. I remember her calling one time in Viniera, going, "Louis, your girlfriend is calling for you." And I go, "Viniera?" And she goes, yes. And I go, that is not my girlfriend. And she goes, she says she's your girlfriend. And I go, Veneer, a girlfriend would have this phone number, this phone number. If you're my girlfriend, you have this number. If you're my family, you have this number. If you're my friend, you have this number. Not this one. Anyway, I wound up picking it up and making it obvious in a probably not so nice way that she wasn't my girlfriend. But yeah, I forget what that has to do with the original topic. But man, I mean, there are so many people in this world that wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. But the second that they need something, the second that they need you to help them, you become their friend. And again, the worst people on earth, the worst, the bottom of the barrel scum are the people that take advantage of that feeling, that happy feeling in the muscles of your face that you have when you realize you've made a friend. The people who take advantage of that and use that to manipulate you into doing things for them. When again, those are people who literally would not piss on you if you were on fire. It's just a really shitty thing to do. So why is that laptop still here years later? That laptop is there to remind me who my real family is. That laptop is there to remind me who my real friends are. Every time I see that laptop, I think of the time that I did not put into it, that I used to help people who are actually my friends, to use to help the people who are actually my family, that I used to visit the people that truly care about me. My friend Jake understands what it's like to be in the service business. He also understands what it's like to be constantly pestered by people who think that your time is worthless. So, and he comes here because he saw what my business was like from the absolute beginning when it was just starting off, and he saw what it was like as it grew. He understands what it's like. When he comes here as a friend, when he shows up, I remember he showed up once with this broken iPhone, and it was 80 plus tax to fix at the time. He gave the receptionist a $100 bill, refused the change, and said, "Here, I'll come back." He's like, "It'll take 10 minutes." He's like, "I'll come back tomorrow." And he's like, "No, it'll take 10 minutes." He's like, "Fine, I'll be back in an hour, but don't rush." Those are friends. The people, not the people who lowball you or try to use the fact that they're a friend to guilt you into doing things for free. Friends are supportive of your business. Friends are supportive of your endeavors. If I ever needed his studio time, I would pay the retail rate. I wouldn't even show up and say, "I don't need my own engineer for what I'm doing. Can I get it cheaper?" No, that's not the friendly thing to do. The friendly thing to do is ask what the retail rate is and just shut the fuck up and pay it, because they're your friend. There's this idea that because somebody is a friend, that you should twist their arm into doing shit for free, when the reality is you should be supporting them. Like, if my friend opens a restaurant, I'm not going to show up because my friend's the owner, I can get free food. No, I'm going to ask as many of the people that I know that are willing to spend money at restaurants as possible if they'd like to go out and get a nice dinner with me one evening and pay retail, because I want to support my friend's restaurant. My dad, again, when I decided to do this vegan diet and go juicing, I told my dad about it, but I never asked him to help me with recipes. I never asked him to come up with shit for me. After 15 years of being a professional chef and cooking for 12, 14, 17 hours a day, I'm not going to ask him to go out of his way to make it, to go out of his way to teach me how to make food if he doesn't want to. If he wants to, that's great. If he doesn't want to because he's sick and tired of that shit, I respect that. When my dad has a computer problem, when something breaks down, he has this great guy that's local right around where he lives that he calls and he pays him and he comes over and helps him, because he doesn't want to bother me with this stuff. He doesn't want to be that family member. He takes it upon himself with pride to not be that family member that's constantly helplessly calling me for help. It's like it's just these small little things that matter so much. Again, when you're real family or you're a real friend, people are going to want to help you, and you're not going to have to twist their arm. When people are really your friends, they're supportive of you. And that's the real point of this, like real friendships, real relationships, real family members. This is something that you have to work and you have to earn and you have to maintain. It's not something that's just going to be handed to you just because you decide that you need something from somebody. That Dell is never going to work again. It's going to sit there until I lose my store lease. And it's going to put a smile on my face every time I look at it and I think of the time that I didn't put into that I did put into the people that really matter.